You might be wondering why there's a stack of books next to me while I'm holding a big knife, or you might not be wondering at all because you might have read the title of this video, so you know exactly what's going to happen. I'm sure you've all seen the tweet of that guy who doesn't want to take his, like, big, thick books on commutes with him, so he literally just cuts them in half. Well, I saw that. I have a lot of questions about it. I mean, a lot of questions about, like, how this started, what made you think to do this. I just have a lot of questions, but I wanted to try this for myself. Also, I have this little Pisces mug out here with me because it is February. We are approaching Pisces season. I am a Pisces. My birthday's next month, so we are bringing out the Pisces mug, living life to the fullest, drinking some green tea while chopping books in half, because that seems about right. I went to my local Goodwill store, Miracle Hill store, to get some cheap books, because I don't really have any books I want to cut in half. I picked up the cheapest books that I could find, so nothing personally against any of these authors. I'm just cutting your books in half because they were cheap. The first paperback that I have is Amy Freeman's fabulous Traveling Funeral. Originally, I had Bitter End by Jennifer Brown, but my friend came over to my house and she was like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting this book, so I gave her that book. I thought I could make some funny jokes with Bitter End because of, you know, a knife in a book called Bitter End is funny. So she went back to Goodwill and she got me another book, and she got me this one because it had funeral in it, and she was like, oh, you could make a good pun out of that. We have Endless Summer by Jennifer Eccles, because I'm going to end their summer. We also have Lock and Key by Sarah Dessen. And then, of course, because you can find this in any thrift store ever, we have New Moon by Stephenie Meyer, because look at that thick book. And then, even thicker, we have Breaking Dawn by Stephenie Meyer. And then we have Carolyn Cohen, Through a Glass Darkly, which is another thick book. So, these are the books that we have today to cut in half, pretty much. So, the reason I got hardbacks and paperbacks is because, like, and I got 3. I got 6 books in total. I wanted to try cutting them like the guy cut them, and then I also wanted to try cutting them horizontally, and I also wanted to try ripping the books in half, because that just sounds really fun. I just really wanted to try ripping a book in half. And then I got hardbacks because I thought it was worth the shot to try with a hardback too, and they were all very cheap. So I think I want to do Endless Summer first. Let's do this one first, and let's try actually cutting it like the guy will cut it before. He usually cuts them in half. So I'm gonna, let's see, let's end on a chapter, because I don't like, I have questions, but I want to stop on a chapter because I don't like the idea of, like, cutting in the middle of a chapter. You know, like when you're reading a book, you know, you want to stop, like, ending the chapter, so that's what we're gonna do. This seems about halfway, I guess. Let's just, yep. Oh, why is this painful to do to a book? Alright, let's, oh, I'm excited. Let's see here. Okay. How does... Oh, this is fun. Okay. It just kind of... I've already made a mistake. It just kind of slices through pretty easily. So, here's the thing. I already have an issue with this. I didn't cut this evenly at all. So, what does he do when this happens? Does he keep buying new books? Like, look at this. I don't think this was meant to happen. I think it was meant to go straight down, but it didn't go straight down. Is he just really good at cutting the books, or am I, like, crazy? This is what we're, like, left with, I guess. I can't even tell what's supposed to go where. I'm very confused by this. Okay, this is the first half of the book, okay? This is the first half, alright. And then this is the second half that I have completely killed. How is this easier than just carrying the book? Like, the full bound book. How is this easier? I mean, I guess you could still read it, but, like, I really messed up, like, especially over here. So, like, how is this easier than just carrying a big book around? I'm just confused. People can do whatever they want with their books. That's okay. I don't care. You can do whatever you want with your books. They're your books. I'm just like, how does this make sense? How is this easier than just carrying the big book around? Or just reading smaller books? Because certainly there must be some smaller books out there you do want to read. They can't all be like huge books. So why don't you just carry the smaller books around? And then also, what happens if you read half of this book and then, like, you have more free time than you anticipated, and then you're just sitting there and it's like, oh wow, I wish I had the rest of this book to read. Or what if it reads on a what if it ends on a cliffhanger? Because how do you know it's going to end on a cliffhanger if you've never read it before? Also, why don't you just get an e-reader or download books on your phone? Like, why does cutting a book in half make more sense? I'm sorry, I'm not like trying to judge you or judge your lifestyle. I'm just genuinely curious. Do you just want to cut books in half? Because if so, that is completely valid and very fair. I just want to know why cutting a book in half seems more reasonable than getting an e-reader. I have a lot of questions. I just have questions, okay? And Endless Summer has been ended. Let's move on to the next book, and I'm going to try not to turn this into a big, I mean, it's not really a rant, I'm just curious. And my cat is up here. Why do you have to come up here right now? Do you want your food? Here, I'll move your food for you. Lock and Key, Sarah Dessen. I was going to try and cut them in different directions and try ripping one in half, but now I just want to try cutting this one in half again, because this one went so terribly wrong, so I want to try and actually get it right. Hello. This is not a safe environment for you, my friend. I'm going to try cutting this one in half again, because, like, I just need to... We're going to go slower, and we're going to figure this out, okay? Alright, Sarah Dessen, let's cut you in half. Okay. I'm going to try, like, very hard. Let's see, does he cut them this way? Does this make more sense? This doesn't make any sense. How could it make more sense if it doesn't make any sense to begin with? This is just not very practical. Okay. I see where we're kind of going wrong here. I'm going to try not to cut my hand off, even though that would be great for views. This worked, actually. Look at this. This actually worked pretty well. Do you just get satisfaction from chopping the books in half? Because this was kind of satisfying chopping it in half. So, like, I kind of get it more now, but I'm still just like, why? How does this make more sense than an e-reader? I'm going to try cutting a hardback in half. And then also, here's the question. Do I leave the jacket on or do I take the jacket off? Jacket on or jacket off? Also, at the bookstore, there was actually a copy of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I can't say it. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I saw that book at Goodwill, and it was like 50 cents, and I considered buying it to cut in half, but I was genuinely worried that if I brought it home and I went to cut it in half, that like Jesse the Reader would appear and he would stab me with the knife instead. New Moon, I'm about to rip this one a New Moon. So I didn't get the sleeve at all. Not that much harder to cut in half. I mean, it's a little trickier because there's more parts to it, but I did it. Okay. New Moon is now a half moon. It's not a full moon, it's a half moon. Half full. The book looks like this when it's together. Alright, chapter starts over here and it continues over here. Okay, the original chapter like ended here. So what do you do in this situation? Like, it's not like, okay, you're finishing this chapter and then you have like the first half of this chapter. What's gonna happen if like you leave for work the next day or whatever and you don't have time to read this one like little half page before going to work? So, like, what do you do in this situation? Do you take the whole book with you? If you only have, like, a little bit left, do you just take the whole book with you? Because then that defeats the purpose of cutting it in half. So what do you do in this situation? And I know I'm reading far too much into this. Oh, Oh, and then also comes the age-old question of, do you read with the jacket on or off? I personally read with it on because it doesn't really bother me or annoy me. A lot of people read with it off. Like, they take the jacket off and they're like, oh, it's time to get down to business. The jacket personally doesn't bother me at all, so I just leave the jacket on. Here's half of New Moon. I mean, it's weirdly satisfying cutting it in half, and this is, like, strangely nice to look at, but overall, I'm just confused. I don't know how well this is going to go, but I want to try cutting Breaking Dawn, like, horizontally in half. Because, I mean, this is a lot thicker to... This is not working. I can't even get the knife through it. I guess I'm just gonna cut it in half too. This one looks the most satisfying because you can actually see it as like a full on, like, that's okay. Oh my gosh, could you imagine, like, okay, so you go to buy a secondhand book. Okay, could you imagine? Just hear me out. Could you imagine if you saw, like, the most beautiful edition of a book that you've ever seen, like, you've been dying for it for years, and you see it on the bookshelf like this, and you're like, okay, it's a little damaged, but it's not a big deal. And then you pick it up, and it looks like a perfectly normal book. Everything looks fine, everything looks normal. And then you just, like, open up the book, and then it's like, oh, what's this? Last book. Yes. Amazing. Yes. Thank you for watching my video today. I know this probably isn't what you expected or what you really saw coming, but thank you for watching my video. I hope you have a good day, a good week, and a good year. If this is my first video you're seeing of mine, feel free to check out my other videos. They're a little calmer, less destructive. So, yeah, feel free to check out my videos and check out my channel. You can subscribe if you'd like, or unsubscribe. I'm okay either way. It's up to you. I'll see you next week with another video that'll be less destructive. And, yeah, feel free to like this video, dislike it, whichever you prefer. If you have a lot of questions like me about what makes someone want to cut books in half, I still can't answer it for you other than it's oddly satisfying. So, yeah. Alright. I think we accomplished something today and destroyed a bunch of books. Alright. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. I don't think this is gonna happen. I'm just gonna rip it. Very oddly satisfying is what I have to say about this.